I've had enough of this.
You know that moment in an argument where something just switches off. Someone is talking, maybe raising their voice, maybe not even raising it, just pushing on something. And instead of firing back, instead of defending yourself, you go somewhere else. The words stop, the face goes flat. You're still in the room, but you're not there anymore. The other person says, "Why won't you just talk to me?" And you genuinely can't explain why. If that's you, you're not being difficult. You're not being manipulative. Your nervous system is doing something very specific. And once you understand what that is, this whole pattern makes sense. Let's be honest first. Shutting down doesn't feel like winning. It doesn't feel like control. It feels like being trapped in glass. You can see the conversation happening. You know what you want to say, and something between the thought and the words just stops working. Most people who do this hate that they do it. And yet, next time conflict shows up, it happens again. The reason isn't weakness. It's something your brain learned a long time ago that it's still convinced is keeping you safe. Psychologists call it emotional flooding. When conflict escalates, some people's nervous systems don't just get activated, they get overwhelmed. Heart rate spikes. The thinking part of the brain goes partially offline. What kicks in instead is survival mode. Shutting down is a freeze response. The brain registers conflict as a threat and pulls the emergency brake. Not because you're weak, because at some point, staying silent was the smartest thing you could do. Most people who do this grew up in environments where speaking up made things worse. The adults around them couldn't regulate their own emotions. So the child learned. The safest move is to disappear. The wall goes up, the storm passes. The problem is, the storm is gone. But the wall never learned to come down. And now it goes up in safe relationships with people who actually want to hear you. Why? Because the brain doesn't distinguish between a threatening argument and a difficult but safe conversation. It detects conflict. The old program runs. And shutting down doesn't end the conflict. It suspends it. Everything is still there, waiting, coming back later, bigger, with resentment attached. The people who do this are often described as calm, easygoing, non-confrontational. But underneath is a growing pile of things that were never said, needs never named, limits never set, because setting them required conflict, and conflict required going somewhere they'll do almost anything to avoid. Quick check. Think of the last argument where you shut down completely. What's the one thing you wished you'd said? Drop it below, just the thing, and stay with me, because what comes next reframes all of it. Picture this, two people in an argument, one animated, frustrated, trying to be heard, the other completely still, face blank. From the outside, unbothered, maybe cold. From the inside, full volume, thoughts piling, emotions running at capacity. The shutdown isn't absence, it's overload with a locked door on it. But here's what most people never realize about this pattern. People who shut down instead of arguing aren't emotionally unavailable. They feel more than most. That's part of the problem. The flooding happens because the emotional volume is already high before the conflict even starts. They absorb tension. They sense shifts before anyone else does. And when it turns confrontational, everything rushes in at once. The shutdown isn't coldness. It's a circuit breaker on a system that runs too hot. The shift isn't learning to feel less. It's learning that this room is not that room, that this person is not that person. The words don't have to be perfect. They just have to come out. You were never emotionally unavailable. You were emotionally overwhelmed in a world that didn't give you safe places to land. Subscribe to Minds Simplified, and maybe next time we dig into a strange behavior that you know you are doing, but never could explain it.